Oh, so that's where the fountain of youth is. It's at Brad Marchand's house. What's up, everybody? Team Fanatic here. Hope you all are having a fantastic day, and welcome to another post-game reaction. In this one, I am continuing my coverage of the Stanley Cup final. This has been a great time getting to cover this final. I am a little sad that it could be coming to an end because in Game 5, the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers. They win 5-2. Lots to talk about here, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so first period. Look, I know that the Edmonton Oilers, they are a resilient team. They are a team with a lot of determination. But there's no way that this is their game plan. There's no way. There's no way that Chris Knobloch in the locker room, he goes, all right, boys, here's what we are going to do. For every single game, pretty much, in this series, we are going to get blown out, concede a few goals, and then, hey, guess what? We are going to come back and win. That cannot be the game plan. Now, granted, it has worked for the Oilers. If that's somehow the game plan, if they wait to play their best hockey until the very end, in some cases, it has worked. Hey, we are tied. We were tied 2-2 heading into Game 5. This was not a sudden death game. The Oilers, they did what they had to do in Game 4 in order to win. And in Game 5, they're at home. So, look, it had to be. The Oilers had to come out strong. But they did not. They did not. And look, on the other side of that, yes, while the Oilers have come back, there have been games, 2 games, where their comeback, it was not complete, and the Panthers were able to capitalize on it and tie this series. So, poor start for Edmonton. The formula was looking so similar to how it was in Games 2 and 3 and 4. First shift, Connor Brown for the Oilers, he's speeding through the neutral zone. He shoots, but Bob stops him. That's the formula right there. The Oilers, they have this great opening shift, but the Panthers take over. So after that shift, the Panthers, they once again become the tone setters. They have now outscored the Oilers 11-4 in the first period and happens again. 9-12 right off the drop. Brad Marchand, he takes this puck down. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for Ekholm. I feel so bad for my former dude, my former Pred. Made him miss, made him look so silly, and Brad opens up this scoring. The 4th straight game where the Panthers have scored first. And for Brad Marchand, he has been on fire. Like, he's making a case right now. I know Sam Bennett, I think he's still the front runner, He's still that front runner, but Brad, he's slowly starting to catch up. I mean, look, Brad scored, he scored the last goal at Rogers Place at the end of Game 2, and he gets the first goal here. And based on, I think, what we saw in this first period and beyond, this goal by Brad, this was not a fluke. This was not like a lucky bounce that he had, or this wasn't like a lucky, just shot that he had, this lucky chance he had right off of the draw. The Edmonton Oilers went without a shot. They were held without a shot over the last 11 minutes of a first period. I don't know how you can do that with Draisaitl and McDavid both on the ice. So, crazy sequence of events happens here. So, Seth Jones, he gets called for a penalty at 15:44. The Oilers, now here is their chance to tie it up on the man advantage. But the Oilers, throughout these playoffs, their power play has not been great. 4 for 20 on the power play in this series coming into this game. And the Oilers, they couldn't take advantage of this power play either. But at 18:06, it gets even worse. Tkachuk, he comes in, he takes a shot, but it does not go. However, Sam Bennett, right place, right time as usual, and he scores to extend the Panthers' lead. It is now 2-0 Florida as we head into the second period. So in the second period, here was me thinking that, you know what, the Oilers, they still have a chance. Again, going back to Game 4, yes, they were down, but they came back. Here, you know what, the task is actually easier because you're not down 3 goals, you're only down 2. And the Oilers, they have done this many times throughout the playoffs. 8 comeback wins in the postseason, most in the league. 4 multi-goal comebacks here in the postseason. So if the Oilers, if they were to come back, I felt like it had to come from their back end. They had to step up. And also for Edmonton, like, they had to make some quick changes. Like, I wouldn't want, like, my defense to be tired with Brad or Sam Bennett or Matthew or whoever skating down that ice with speed. And the Oilers, they did outshoot Florida 8-5 in this period, but no one scored, which did feel kind of weird, honestly, because this was only the second scoreless period in this entire series. So, you know, like, we're used to seeing goals, but again, perhaps that was the travel miles. Perhaps that played a role. I talked about in my prediction how that could play a factor because it's a lot of travel miles from Edmonton to Florida and then back again. That's a lot of miles right there. And that does take a toll, even on the best players. So, third period, I was looking for some fireworks. And you know what? I got to give him credit. It's Brad Marchand again, 5-12 into the third period. First, he made Ekholm miss, which that bummed me out to see my boy get humiliated. And, you know, Brad, he does the same thing to Wallman. He just made him miss. Oh my goodness! Brad scored his 6th goal of the series, his 5th at Rogers Place. Unreal. And so this is where my dad chimed in, and he said, guys, like he was talking to Edmonton, Oilers, hit somebody! It did look like throughout this game that the Oilers, they weren't as aggressive on the forecheck. Now that could be for a number of reasons. Most notably, I feel like in Game 3, I feel like that was still in the back of the Oilers players' minds, and that they got 85 minutes in the penalty box. And Florida, in Game 3, they scored 3 power play goals. So perhaps that was on the Oilers players' minds. But at this point, it did look like the refs were letting them play. So I was a tad bit shocked that the Oilers, they weren't as aggressive on the forecheck right here. And so, you know what? At least the Oilers weren't shut out. 2-12 after Marchand's goal. Connor McDavid, he finally decides to show up. He scores, give the assist to Bouchard for like a great pass, and then Connor with a nice fake out move. Connor's 7th goal of the postseason, his first of this series. So maybe here it was. You know, maybe here was the start of the Oilers' comeback. But this is what playing the Panthers, this is what is just so devastating about them, is that just when you think you have a goal, you have momentum, they come right back. After Connor scores, 46 seconds is all it takes for Reinhart to score his 3rd straight game where he has scored. So Sam is hot, so under 5 minutes to go, the Oilers go empty net. They need a miracle, and Corey Perry, he does give them that at 16:47. So the score is now 4-2. The Oilers, again, we've seen this in the playoffs and in this series. Like, we've had all these last-second goals twice this series. So maybe the Oilers, perhaps they were trying, you know, to just reignite that spark to come back. But again, these Panthers, sometimes, especially here, they are just a devastating dose of reality. Luostarinen scores in the empty netter to steal it. Once again, the Panthers win Game 5. They take a 3-2 series lead, heading back to Sunrise with a chance to close this thing out and repeat as Cup champions. This is what the Panthers do. They're so good at following a loss. The Panthers now 5 straight wins following a loss. And I said this in my Game 4 reaction. I said, if the Panthers were to get back in this series, I feel like they had to show their stripes on the road. Show why they are a better road team, as their record says, in these playoffs. And the Panthers, they did that with flying colors. Sam Bennett, he continues his hot streak, his 15th straight game scoring in the postseason. Unreal. Luostarinen got 2 points. Bobrovsky, he had a nice performance as well. 19 saves for him with some help from the goalpost. There were moments when Edmonton players, Connor specifically, they would just dink that puck right off the post. There were some angles where it looked like the puck went in based on like watching it on the TV, but it did not. And it's like, wow, that is devastating. And of course, Brad Marchand, 2 beauties of goals in this game to help clinch this win for Florida. And once again, the Panthers, they have the chance to end this whole thing, close this out, and win their second straight cup. For these Oilers, again, it's rough. Look, I'll lay it out like this. Last year, we all saw the Oilers came back from 0-3 down to force Game 7. If you think about it, this is an easier task for them to do because all you need now is to win 2 straight. And one of them will be at your building. So they can do this. I feel like if the Oilers, if they were to do this, I feel like their players, especially their defense, they got to be more aggressive on the forecheck, but not so much to cause a penalty. Like, don't make it super obvious that, like, you're tripping someone or anything like that. The big question now, I feel like, is who is going to start in net? In Game 4, we thought Pickard, we thought he was going to give the Oilers that spark that they needed. But in this Game 5, he got picked apart. So, Knoblauch, he could go back to Stuart Skinner, or he could stay with Calvin Pickard. That could be one of those choices that's like that could play a huge role in whether the Oilers win Game 6 and get back in this series or if they lose. So that's going to be a big choice for Knoblauch to make. We'll see what happens. But fans, that is going to do it for this post-game reaction. Thank you all so much for watching. If you all enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you can join our Fanatic Army. And honey salutes to all of you as always, and I hope that all of you have a fantastic day.